Hi children, today I continue the topic Intellectual Awakening under Socio-Political Changes. In last class you have learnt the Jainism and Buddhism. Now we know about rise of kingdoms, growth of royal power, the rise of Magadha kingdom, Mauryan kings, Mauryan administration and educational centers. Let's watch.
The 6th century BC witnessed the establishment of kingdoms, oligarchies, and chiefdoms. 16 Mahajanapadas are listed in Buddhist text. Linguistic and cultural commonality prevailed in the Janapadas, whereas in the Mahajanapadas. Now let us see the growth of royal power. The growth of royal power. The king enjoyed absolute power. The king sought the aid and support of the Samiti on matters like war, peace, and fiscal policies. The growth of royal power was reflected in the enlarged administrative structure. Gramani, who acted both a civil and military officer, was the link through which the royal authority was enforced in the village. Gramyavadin, village judge, and the Sabha court decided the cases. Punishments for crimes were very severe. Now let us see the rise of Magadha kingdom. The polity followed in kingdoms was different from that of the Ganasangas. There were advisory bodies such as Parishad, which consist of ministers, and Sabha, which consist of advisory council. The Sabha collected the revenue and remitted it to the treasury in the capital of the kingdom. The kingdoms mentioned in the literature of the period, Kashi, Kosala, and Magadha, are considered to be powerful. The Magadha kingdom emerged victorious. Bimbisara was the first important king of Magadha. Bimbisara. Bimbisara went on to conquer Anga in the West Bengal, thereby gaining access to the Ganges Delta. Bimbisara succeeded in establishing a comprehensive structure of administration. Village was the basic unit of his administrative system. Each village was brought under a Gramani, that means the headman, who was responsible for collecting taxes and remitting them to the state treasury. Land tax, Bali, was the main source of revenue to the kingdom. Now let us see about Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru, the son of Bimbisara, is said to have murdered his father and ascended the throne in 493 BC. The capital city of Magadha was Rajagriha. Ajatashatru strengthened the Rajagriha fort and also built another fort at Pataligrama on the Ganges. Ajatashatru died in 461 BC and he was succeeded by 5 kings. All of them followed the example of Ajatashatru by ascending the throne and by killing their parent. People of Magadha appointed the last ruler's viceroy Shishunaga as their king. After ruling nearly for half a century, the Shishunaga dynasty lost the kingdom to Mahapadmananda.
Alexander's invasion. Alexander was one of the greatest conquerors of the world who attacked northwest India in 4th century BCE. He marched from Macedonia in Greece, conquering all the countries on his way to northwest India. He fought most important battle with King Porus, whose kingdom lay between the rivers Jhelum and Chenab. After defeating him, he returned the kingdom to Porus. But Alexander could not advance beyond the river Bias because his soldiers were tired after years of war. Moreover, they were afraid to face the mighty Magadha army. So, Alexander decided to return and appointed governors to look after the conquered territories. Fact: it is believed that in the last days of his life, King Chandragupta Maurya gave up his throne and adopted asceticism under the Jain saint Bhadrabahu Swami. He breathed his last in 298 BCE at Shravanabelagola in present-day Karnataka, ending his days of self-starvation. A small temple marks the cave called Bhadrabahu Cave where he died. Fact: a quote by Chanakya. Before you start some work, always ask yourself 3 questions. Why am I doing it? What the results might be? Will I be successful? Only when you think deeply and find satisfactory answers to these questions, go ahead. The Mauryan Empire. At the time of Alexander's attack, Magad was ruled by Nanda rulers. Taking advantage of the unpopularity of Nanda rulers, a young man named Chandragupta Maurya succeeded in overthrowing them. Taking help of a wise Brahmin, Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, he established Mauryan dynasty, the first all-India empire in India. Chanakya was the writer of the famous book Arthashastra, which explains how to run a government. Chandragupta Maurya proceeded to build up an empire which included modern Bihar, Punjab, Central India, Bengal, and parts of Odisha. After consolidating his army, Chandragupta conquered the territories covering modern Afghanistan from the Greek ruler Seleucus Nicator and was appointed governor by Alexander after his retreat from India.
The Mauryan Empire, and also the state and society of Mauryan Empire. Mauryan kings. Vishnugupta, who was later known as Chanakya or Kautilya, fell out with the Nanda king. Chandragupta marched to Patliputra and defeated the Nanda king in 321 BC. Thus began the reign of Mauryan dynasty. Chandragupta became an ardent follower of Jainism, abdicated his throne in favor of his son Bindusara. Ashoka succeeded Bindusara in 268 BC. Ashoka waged a war against Kalinga in the 8th year of his reign. This war and slaughter affected Ashoka so much that he decided to give up the war itself. After Kalinga, Ashoka did not wage war at all. Ashoka became an ardent Buddhist after meeting the Buddhist monk Upagupta and propounded his dharma. Ashoka's passion for protecting life extended to animals as well. Hospitals were constructed for them and animal sacrifice was forbidden. Ashoka sent his son Mahendra and his daughter Sangamitra to Ceylon to spread his message of Dharma there. Ashoka died after ruling for 38 years. Our national emblem with 4 lions is a replica of the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath. Now we'll see the administration of Mauryas. The Mauryas had evolved a very efficient system of governance. The king, as the head of the administration, was assisted by a council of ministers. The district was under a Sthanika, while Gopas were in charge of 5 to 10 villages. The municipal administration was under Nagaraka. 6 committees with 5 members each carried on their duties under him. Now we'll see the 6 committees. They were to take care of their foreigners, to register birth and death of the citizens, to look after trade and commerce, to supervise different manufacturers, to collect excise duties and custom duties. Duties means tax or revenue. Trade contributed to urbanization in a big way. New cities such as Kaushambi, Beta, Vaishali, and Rajagriha had sprung up in the Doab region. Now we have come to the very important topic, the educational centers. The educational centers offered Buddhist and Vedic literature, logic, grammar, medicine, philosophy, and astronomy. Even the science of war was taught. Nalanda became the most renowned seat of learning in course of time.
Children, it's time to conclude. In this lesson, you have learnt 6th century BCE was a period of material, cultural and intellectual development. The Mauryan dynasty was founded by Chandragupta Maurya with the aid of Chanakya. The Mauryan administration and the greatness of Ashoka with a particular reference to his Dhamma. 6th century was also a period that witnessed the rise of Mahajanapadas. Children, I hope you are understood the topic. Thank you all. We will see the next class.